Yo, you already know what it is. It's public service announcement. It's never a safe space. We never do it for the industry. We only do it for the fucking culture. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Nothing much. This is episode 104. 104. Because I fucked up the numbers before. Don't tell nobody. Just the listeners. That's the only people I need to know. I am Robbie Digital.
We've done it like twice, though. That's okay.
Oh, yeah.
We've collectively fucked up on the episode number.
They still listen. We fuck with y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all still here. I am Robbie Digital, a.k.a. The Culture, a.k.a. The Late One but the Great One, a.k.a. I Like a Freaky 45, a.k.a. I'm Michael Jordan Major. You niggas is Harold Minor. I'm here. What up? A.k.a. Batman now.
Gotham Zone. Gotham's very own.
Gotham Zone.
Yo, I am Lion Goodman, the Lion of Best Side, a.k.a. Lion Ass Nigga, a.k.a. Lion O Shit, a.k.a. Lion DiCaprio, a.k.a. Lion 13X, a.k.a. Lucius Lion, a.k.a. lionofbestside.com.
Hey.
Here we go.
Yeah.
A.k.a. LLC. I see you.
No, but like definitely excited. I mean, there's nothing you can do. At some point, I'm going to have a sign up for a newsletter if anybody wants to read that. But I will be launching my site soon.
Introduce yourself, ma'am.
It's your girl, Little Mayo, aka I can't even be Mother Mixies. I can't be anything. I'm just a cozy girl out here surviving the quarantine. Cozy fits all day, calm fits all day. We out here.
We have to see how we can tie something cool with the word OnlyFans, and then we'll give you that title.
I don't know. I have nothing to do with OnlyFans. I do not hate.
But I know you're managing accounts. You're managing accounts, bro. I know you are. Women are like, look, I just want to know how I can be better. What can you do with my content? My titties hang, but I'm just saying I can hope. And Jay be like, look, it's all about angles. We can do this.
I'm just out here trying to be an LLC. I'm trying to get back to do this line again. So that's really what I'm focusing on.
I'm chilling. I had an interesting week. I mean,
I'm sure you did.
Shout out to the good folks at First Class Breakfast, Rap and Order. By the time you guys hearing this, that episode should be out. We interviewed Jonathan Mannion and Swiss Beats on DMX's Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. Very incredible interview. Swiss was really open about some things.
Did you give a hot take and Swiss slandered you in front of everybody?
Nah, we talked about the song that we've been waiting for 3 years. The Jadakiss Nas, Hove, and DMX verse that we heard at the battle. Apparently,
drop the link.
Inside scoop. A rapper on the song did not want to drop the song because they don't like their verse in it because they're not at the same place in life anymore.
I'm guessing
another rapper on that song said that they like the fact that the song isn't out because it gains more allure and it becomes more legendary. So the more we hold on to it, the more the fans will want it, and I don't want to miss that moment.
Stop doing this. They did this with BBC, and look how that turned out.
Nah, they did it with Lost Tapes, and then it became a Lost Tape. So it got to be Nas.
Thank you. Like, don't do this.
Only Nas was, you got to hold on to it because, like the streets want it. Give it away. Oh, Nas.
They did this
we actually don't even want you on it. But you're here.
The Kodak Black and Travis Scott song, and then look what we got. We didn't even like the song once it came out.
No,
exactly.
We really don't need you. Like, exactly. You weren't on Blackout. We don't need you now. So
you're dragging it.
Sorry. But I'm glad to see everyone's doing well. I guess we can start since we were talking about just battles and whatnot. I guess we can get into the biggest L's. I'm gonna let you take this. Reporting live from Flatbush, Mr. Goodman. Tell me, Eastern Parkway is in a frenzy right now. What's going on?
God.
Yeah, it was a resounding defeat for Fabolous in his verses against Jadakiss. Yeah, I did not. I started to accept that Jada definitely had a legendary discography just straight off of his features. But I thought that Fab would take it more seriously. Like, you have to recognize this man's discography. I would have thought that maybe Fab would have started with his like pop hits and then gone into like the mixtape joints toward the last like 7 to 8. But this dude started playing like what? Like I just didn't understand. I didn't understand what he was doing. I think he only had one cut off of the Soul Tape, the entire Soul Tape series, which is like tied for best with There Is No Competition. He played himself and he played me because I was definitely riding for that nigga. I was like, it's gonna be at least a battle, right? It's gonna be a battle. But it was no thought. I hear that they're trying to blame his fucking his DJ, but I'm like,
yeah, DJ Booth. Yeah.
But like, what that got to like? Did Booth choose your songs for you?
I remember before we had the conversation about the battle, I remember Rob had called me and I was like, I thought it was gonna be Fab too, because to me, I'm like, I think we're not. I felt like the timeline and everybody was not giving Fab enough credit. Because I'm like, Fab has a lot of records. Like, in a time when Fab had those 3 first albums, Jadakiss wasn't really hitting. He was kind of tied up in Puffy drama and transitioning into D Block.
He was buying refrigerators.
Exactly. So in that time that Fab became, like, when Fab hit the ground from Superwoman on, Fab was hitting those first 3-4 albums, and Jadakiss was not the most popular. So I thought for sure, I was like, remembering how much I played Fabulous. I was like, I didn't see how he could win, because I was like, out of those 3 albums and then those features that he had early on, he didn't even play the hardball joint. Superwoman didn't play to the end. He
didn't play Superwoman during the competition.
During the competition. He didn't play the J-Lo verse. He played a lot of, in the first 10, he played a lot of random songs. Like, he threw on that French Montana song that nobody gave a fuck about.
Hate that song.
No
one plays that for New Year's.
Exactly. So I'm like, you threw on a lot of random records, and then in the last 10, then he really played the hits, but he missed a lot. Like, I was like, I did not understand.
I'm like, yo, because at any point, Jada is going to play classic records. Like, he's going to play his classic verses. And that's it. My issue, not even so much, you could lose when you're going. There was like a couple of rounds where it was like, okay, this is a genuine discussion. You're just not going to give it to, you're just not, like, I think, like, Throw It in the Bag remix versus,
I got the list. I can give
Throw It in the Bag versus,
because your man looked like a goof. So
Knock Yourself Out. Was it that? Was it Throw It in the Bag versus
Throw It in the Bag
versus Knock Yourself Out?
Knock Yourself Out, yeah.
So you're not gonna, like, it's a discussion. Yeah, Knock Yourself Out probably wins just off of nostalgia, but you're not gonna tell me we're not gonna have a conversation about that record.
Throw in the bag. So, but I also felt like Jadakiss, some of his records weren't like, he got a lot of great. He got a lot of W's in it, but I feel like the records weren't really mostly known for him. Like, yeah, I feel like you can't play Benjamins. Like, you're not even the best verse on Benjamin.
You're not the best verse. You can't, like, when he plays,
that's a cheat code. You can't claim Benjamins. You're not the best verse on Benjamins. You can't play. I forgot I think he played Victory.
Yeah, and that was like, nigga, you not leading off with Big.
Like everybody knows the Puffy monologue in the beginning of the Shun Don't Shine Forever, but it's like, that's not your song.
You to say you wrote it and you have title to it, that's huge.
Okay, great, but also the song is not. But yeah,
like I'm not gonna expunge
but it's not
your
really
talent.
known. You're not known for that song. That's not.
It's why I gave, like, I got American Boy when John Legend said, "Yeah, I wrote American Boy." I was like, point for John Legend.
Like, come on. I think the problem is that Jadakiss, I think he's always felt slighted. Like, he's always felt slighted, but I think he's also always been comfortable where he's at. And I think for him, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna really show my ass because a lot of people think you're better than me, and I don't know how many times I gotta tell you that you're not.
Also, too, the problem is Fab got into streetwear. Okay, listen, throwbacks.
That fit was terrible.
Fab was wearing throwbacks and selling drugs on the side and dating Spanish women. The bars were elite. Once he got into streetwear and started hanging out in Kiss more and decided to be faithful, and the music turned to trap.
It was actually, and I think there's a double L there because a lot of people didn't know if they even wanted to listen to this battle because of how they felt about Fab. With the domestic violence, the domestic abuse. And it's kind of, a lot of people had a lot of mixed emotions about that. Like, well, should we even be promoting this with Fab's history? And then the question was posed, well, if she married him, then she's complicit. And like, if she can get over it, shouldn't we get over it?
My thing is that
we pick and choose who we want to support when it's convenient.
It's true because the same people that was like, "Oh, I'm not listening to Fab's thing," there's the same people to be like, "I still play No Guidance in the club," and I'm like, if you still listen to Chris Brown records, it's the same thing. Like Chris Brown had the case with Rihanna. Yes, it's Rihanna, but
slid right back into that like 6 months later.
But still, that was a one-time thing, and they got back together. So my thing is like, if you could still play No Guidance and play Chris Brown records, like it's nothing, then why is the smoke any different for Fab?
I think that I think we're dealing with celebrities. So, like, you have a right to not fuck with somebody. Like, if you don't want to fuck with somebody, you got a right to look funny at somebody else that fucks with him. Like, that's your right when you're dealing with celebrity and how you feel celebrity impacts you and makes you feel, maybe even about yourself. For me, absolutely. I do. If Emily forgives him, I forgive him. If it's something that they're handling internally, but they're handling it, I'm going to also respect the privacy of that. Now, I mean, like, I also, like, understood how other people feel about that. But, like, sometimes you just don't, if you don't fuck with Fab, but you fuck with Chris Brown, and for a little bit, he was swanton bombing on women, like, every few years.
That's a crazy analogy, because that would make him a Hardy Boy. That was a fire bar. I got that. That was a wrestling bar, and I got that. That was fire, my nigga. I saw you.
But
spitting.
I just think, like, that is fair. That is a real fair assessment. But I also, like, some people, I would say that I don't really care for the arguments of people who bash Emily for what happened. But, like, if there's other people that are like, they're working it out, not my business.
I think, me personally, I'll forever, in that whole situation, although it's not my business, not my relationship, I will forever hold to the fire the media publications of New York City that hit it and didn't want to touch it because Fab was a media darling and they felt like it was in their best interest not to approach Fab or talk about or even cover it in New York media. And that was what was most disappointing about that whole thing. Joe Budden didn't want to say anything. Power and 5 didn't want to say anything. Hot 97 didn't want to say anything. And I think that was more telling about how we pick and choose what we're willing to tolerate and what we're not, and what lines we're willing to cross for who. Because when it happened to Chris, to your point, Jade, every news coverage handled it. And it's not like, we saw the photos for Chris. There was video. You chased her around the car, bro. And the kids are crying in the background. Like, it was wild.
I think it's like, dude, they're still to this day, if Chris gets an award, they still bring up that he was arrested and went to jail back, blah, 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 blah. They still put it in an article now in 2020 when, at the end of the day, yes, it was wrong. He served his time. He went to jail for a bunch of stuff he went for. It's done. You either have to move on or you don't.
Absolutely. Let's get into the next L. I can't pronounce this woman's name, but I know she's guilty. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. She's guilty. Jade, what's her name? Because I know you know her name. You can pronounce it. It's like Ganesha.
It's Ghislaine Maxwell. I couldn't get that wrong, but basically.
She guilty. We know she did it.
That's my
Son,
point is that
I feel
is she
sorry
even
for that
gonna make
woman.
it?
What
I
happened?
feel sorry for that woman because her days are numbered. She's gonna take her life in somebody's jail. She's gonna take her life in somebody's jail.
I think it's just like how far is this lady gonna even get? Like I only feel sorry for this lady for two things. Jeffrey Epstein was really the white whale, and they offed him. That's the person that really was the thing to get, and to get him to talk. They got him out the paint. So for me, I think this lady, yes, I feel like she has clearly some involvement in it, but I feel like they're really sticking it to her because they couldn't get Jeffrey. But I don't think she's gonna last long either because she got to.
I would sing if I was her. I would sing. I'd been like, "Yo, I've been waiting for you."
I'd be like,
Here's my entire statement.
Yeah. They killed Jeffrey in the cell with a broomstick. Trump did it. I would just be fucking singing like fucking Fantasia. Cause like y'all clap old boy because he knew too much, and you're not gonna clap me without telling my story.
I'm hitting y'all with the if I don't check in every 24 hours, the entire statement is being released, and
via Eric Snowden.
I'm gonna ring, like I'm gonna call somebody. I'm gonna hit a beeper. You ain't tracking that shit down at all.
Period. If I don't make it, I would literally get on TV. If I die, this document will be released with all the names, photos, everything. So y'all better keep me the fuck alive because it's on y'all asses. Period. I got dates. I got
social security numbers.
I got me holding up my passport while I do something. Like I got shit. If I get clapped, this is the person who did it, and this person knows automatically. If I die, to release all this information to Edward Snowden or Julian Assange.
I got everything about you, you fucking monsters. Y'all better leave me the fuck alone.
I better make it out.
Do my time in peace.
If 6ix9ine can live, you better hope that no shade. Like if 6ix9ine is out here living and getting lace fronts, listen, you better hope I live, because if I don't, I'm dry snitching, wet snitching, whatever kind of snitching.
I find 6ix9ine offensive. Can we move on, please?
Yeah.
We can move on.
Don't do that.
I never thought we would be here with this L.
But I think before this L, I didn't get to add this in notes. I feel like we need to talk about academics. Because y'all talk about it. Because now today, Complex has suspended him, and Twitch has banned his streams.
You know why?
Yeah,
because you can't come at Chrissy Teigen, bro. White people like her. They like her, and they like her husband John Legend. And every time that nigga sing with Common, they clap.
The Complex thing is like whatever, but at the end of the day, Twitch is where he really makes his money. And if they make
you say,
he told John Legend check his bitch.
And told him, and then said she could suck my dick, and if you feel a way about it, John Legend, you could suck my dick too.
He got suspended from Twitch for that?
Yeah.
He said some mad. He
violated.
He was like, because anytime a bitch talk to me like that, I'ma check that bitch.
He wildin'.
And I don't give a fuck if her husband sings behind a piano. He a bitch and he can suck my dick too. And I was just like, you can't talk about John Legend.
You can't let these incels get far because this is what they do.
They sound wild.
We let Doja Cat get far, and she was in the chat showing feet, and look what happened. She was singing racist songs. We can't let these incels that be on Twitch and China Cat get far.
Girl defended them. She was like, "Oh, my friends aren't racist," or some shit like that. My friends aren't
clearly racist. She's still in the chat showing feet. But I'm like, girl, I can't listen to you no more. But like, we can't be letting these incels, these basement creatures, get on because they start talking reckless and. Look what happened. Bad
enough. Freddie Gibbs was really ready to clap.
Freddie Gibbs has been on his ass.
Freddie Gibbs is one of those people, when he says something, you should believe him.
Facts. He was Gary, Indiana.
There's not many people from Gary, Indiana that we know. But I know one person who I fear from Gary, Indiana, and it's Joe Jackson. And Joe Jackson was from Gary, Indiana. And if he can beat 5 kids in the fame, then I know what type of time they be in.
Not even that. Michael Jackson was fucking gully. He still got the Beatles masters after all these fucking years, and he's dead, okay? So I don't care what you talk about. Michael Jackson making sure that white man and the Beatles ain't ever getting money, and he's been in the ground for 10 years, okay?
Fact,
that's fucking gangster. And he came back Little Richard's thing. So if you're talking Gary Indiana, some real ass niggas, and Michael Jackson is one of them, because he made sure he bought it back from Paul McCartney and gave all his publishing to Little Richard. So that's fucking gangster.
And Freddie Gibbs has not put out a bad album since 2015. So niggas 3 for 3. So what are we really talking about here?
They got no plaques. Epidemics ain't in the street.
No.
Yeah, but he got the incels, and they are legion.
He got the incels and the government witnesses. That's it.
That Teletubby T-shirt is top 5. That may be the cover for the episode.
I'm not wearing it.
I'm not buying it. Jay told me not to buy it. What are we at? I think
we were talking about the August. The
yeah. I'm about to get into it now. I guess this is the court of L because we don't know who to give it to.
I think that there's a lot of people who need an L for not knowing, or at least not knowing of the rumor of Will and Jada. Like that's definitely been a solid rumor for at least the last 15 years. You know why I say the last 15 years? Because that's when I was told that by one of my aunties about how Will and Jada get down. I was 18 years old.
Just about, but I want to know. That
definitely is an old tea. That ain't nothing. That's no new tea.
Well, it's not new, but clearly it is pretty new to August Alsina. So August Alsina this week decided to go and speak with Angela Yee, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so when 2 no-name people go speak, you get some things going, I guess.
Come on, bro. For real?
Bro, no one needs
I'm not going to say Angela Yee is a no-name. I don't move with how she moves. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay,
I'm not going to say she's a no-name because, I mean...
She's not a no-name, but like...
Breakfast Club gets millions of viewers and listens
every syndicated everywhere.
Yeah, so
they are, but I don't really think that's the Angela Yee's credit.
I'm not going to call her.
And not now. In the beginning, yes.
No.
In the beginning, yes. In the beginning, yes. Lip service, Sirius Radio. When they brung Syph in, it was a big deal because she was a major platform doing on Sirius Radio.
Let's talk about it. I'm just not a fan of Angela Yee. That's what it is.
In sports,
that's fair. People don't need to be a fan of somebody. But to say no name, like, bruh.
Yeah, you came in her head. I ain't even coming in her head. I don't really care for her. But whatever. So
she spoke with August Alsina. Go ahead. Tell the story, Jade.
August Alsina, he was talking about what he was going through at the time when he entered into a relationship of sort with Jada. How Will gave him permission to carry on the relationship. How, people said he was like adopted by the family. How he was really, caught up with that. He was really in love with the person. I took it more as this is a young person getting involved with somebody way beyond his years and understanding in the business, who's been in the business for years, who's dealt with a lot of, very huge personalities and people. And I just felt like you can get lost in that. Like as a kid, like he was only 22, I think, when he was with, allegedly with her. And I'm like, that was a lot for you. Like the Smiths are the Smiths. Like even when me and Saul, even when we met the Smiths, when we worked at our old job, it was like, we got to meet Jada, Willow, and Jaden. It was like my mother came to that event. Like my whole family came because it's fucking Jada Pinkett Smith and fucking Willow and Jaden. Like they're a big deal. And I can understand that if somebody, even as we are not even near them, somebody like him who's being taken in under the wing into that fold, that has to be mind blowing. And then you're getting entangled in emotions with this magnanimous, this, woman with this big personality, this aura. It was.
She was in the Matrix.
or it's not even the Matrix. I'm just saying. I feel like
just in the like
their family. They're very like personable family, and I just feel like he got lost in all that. And then also too, I kind of like my dude. What did you think was going to happen? It's Jada Pinkett Smith. Like her and Will are a brand. Like she's not going to leave with you. Like
her name sounds better when you add Smith to the end of it.
Period. Like she's not like, come on, my dude. Like she was with Tupac. Like, come on, she's Tupac and now Will. Like that man, like he changed movies. Like he changed the summer blockbusters. Like, come on, like I get you got caught up, but you're not ever gonna get a woman that's married in that kind of arrangement out of it to be with you. So you signed up for an L.
Where do we put Jada Pinkett Smith on the mythical box list?
I think wait, before we go into this, I think we also have to consider the fact that Jada is in fact 21 years older than this dude. Like he's 27 now. Like if we're having this conversation, we're talking about age, period. Like if we're looking at a nigga with some 20 year junior girl, like he's like, oh, okay, that's the type of nigga you are. That's what you look for in a girl. We get it. I think there is a factor in like Jada, like you've been in this game for a while, okay? Like you've been in this game for over 20 years.
Like how you explained it.
You could have checked to see like, damn, you know what? Is this somebody that is emotionally mature enough to handle this?
He makes R&B music.
Like, it has nothing to do with it. I just don't think.
Like, look at how bad Dwayne Martin's life has gone. And yet, not a word. And you know what? It's because sometimes people know how to choose, But like, yo, you 20 years older than this dude. Like, you know what kind of nigga this dude's gonna turn out to be. Somebody with his heart on his sleeve.
You know what putting this kind of energy on somebody is probably going to do to them. So it's like, even if you can, sometimes you have to be the more responsible one. Like, you ain't ready for this because it was a gank and you may get caught up.
Gorilla grip.
I got gorilla grip and you may wild out for the rest of your life. Like sometimes you got to be the adult.
I've seen too many clips and I've heard too many coincidences when it comes to these two people and other people. Like
that photo of him and Queen Latifah. With Queen Latifah look at them taking that picture, she's like, girl, you nasty.
Son, I'm just saying, like, yo, you could have like thrown this one back into the ocean.
You know what? The whole thing I'm mad at them about, I can't really decide who gets an L. I'm mad at them that they don't let this be honest, that they don't be honest about this. Because in Black communities, the way Black communities talk about sexuality, if they were open about their arrangement, like we have arrangement, like we've been married for years and we realize that being in a monogamous relationship in our industry does not work, so we have decided to enter into arrangement, but we've kept this arrangement going for years because I ain't never heard one of them ex-baby mamas say anything bad about any of them because they keep them paid. Like, them bitches have houses. Those bitches have never got on the ground.
They get to pick their own boyfriend.
They come around to the family picnics.
Jada and his ex-wife are like best friends.
They're cool. The whole thing, and my thing is like, y'all need to actually talk about y'all arrangements with exes, other baby mamas, people y'all invite. Because I think it's Black people. I think Black communities are so we're so judgmental and sometimes prudish about sexual interactions that adults have. And I feel like if Will Smith admitted that he was bi and Jada admitted that she was bi and we have entered in this arrangement, we respect our arrangement, we want to keep our family together, but we do our thing. Do you know how that would knock like 100 years off sexual, like, hang-ups that Black communities have.
Maturation, sexual maturation.
Like for years, if they said this is our arrangement and we are cool with it, like it would blow people's minds because I think people have such respect for them that they would actually respect it and be real about it instead of just hiding it. Hey. It'd be great.
It also
Will Smith would be a real bad boy.
He'd be lit.
It would also like it's not new.
No, it's not.
Ruby D and Ozzy Davis had an open marriage. Like it was known. Like it's not something new. If you have that, first of all, it's between you. It's a bond between you and your partner. And if y'all are okay with it, be okay with it. I understand if you don't want to like make it public. Maybe you don't want to be a fucking symbol of that. Maybe you just want to get your knock boots on either side of the fucking house. But
in this Joker, because if you gonna be on this Joker, you're gonna be in this Joker. There's a lot of cards being thrown.
I'm gonna be in these Jokers. Like it's I get it's fine, and I also get that maybe you don't want to, but then like you need to pick and choose better, because now this whole motherfucker is about to come down like a smooth secret that you've kept for at least like the rumors that have only been just rumors for the last 25 years.
Very much so.
All coming down because this yellow nigga. This yellow 20-something that felt something. Like,
yeah, I think they just need to be. I get, you know what I mean? I agree with you, Josh. They didn't need to go into all the details because I feel like then that just the media just goes too crazy with it. But I do think that they need to be somewhat honest that yes, there is some sort of arrangement here, and this is what we decided to do as a family.
Let's get into these W's. While we're here. I guess reporting from the floor team. Mr. Goodman.
No, I'm just really excited for. I had trouble. I was actually gonna put like a question mark by this one. I don't. I'm happy that he's being honored, but a 20-year-old boy was murdered, and we ain't got no leads. And what bothers me is how brutally honest. And I gotta have some respect for 50 for what he said. He's like, yo, it's the same story. I'm the one that got rich, and he's the one that died trying. And
that shit hurt.
It
hurt. It hurt to hear it be said because it was like, it's true, but I've never heard a statement so true like that.
Most of it came from 50, somebody who could have easily been taken out before he got big. Same instance. Same kind of thing.
Like, I'm so, and like it's, everybody is mad because this nigga Virgil did the fucking album cover, and it is a terrible album cover. And I hope there had somewhere deep down, somebody's like, yo, I know Pat, and he said he always wanted a cover by Virgil. And, I could believe that because he's 20. Like, them kids love Virgil shit, even though it's shit. But
I mean, he went to Paris for the first time because Virgil invited him to the show,
So
I could see that request happening, but what the result was terrible.
I mean, but that's what we would get.
Virgil was like, give me clip art, stat.
Yo,
got an idea.
It was a bad pen and pixel, and that's what the whole thing is. Like, you should know better. Photoshop has improved since 1996. Come on now.
I mean, maybe he was using techniques that were popular when Pop was born.
It was a tacky pen and pixel
right.
thing.
You know what? Let's put this to rest.
But
point blank period, the only photo that should be used is Apex Lex. That is the only those are the only photos, the only footage that should be being used. I talked to Lex. Everybody is like really like pointing at Steven Victor like, yo, if you don't use Lex's photo, don't come to Brooklyn because it's going to be a very sad mistake. so I don't know if Steven Victor and Victor have reached out to Lex, but I know if anyone is deserving of that album cover and deserving of preserving what that guy meant to hip hop through photography and art, it's her.
I wouldn't mind if Kehinde Wiley had did a Pop Smoke one. I would have loved it.
True.
There must be at some point. There must be some. If I just want to believe that Pop wanted Virgil to do an album cover for him, and like I just want to believe that that's they were close, and like it was just a request, and it would have just came out. I just want to believe that if we're not, then burn that shit down. But right now I do want to just celebrate. Like there's so much emphasis on what this dude has done. I just feel like obviously we lost him way too soon.
Way too soon.
But it's a testament to like what was bubbling. Like it's great. Everybody knows about pride of being from a borough, being from Brooklyn, or if you can muster it, the Bronx. But
I'm not from Jersey.
Neither am I. So there. You can't give me that. I live there, but I'm not from there. So relax.
Whatever.
I know you were going
Continue
there.
your monologue, Mr.
No, it's just like it's a sound. It's a feeling, and you come if you ever can come to fucking New York. You play Pop's records and come through and chill, and you feel it.
I think every borough has that feeling, and it's crazy because I feel like only LA knows how that feels when you see somebody from the town make it. Like I was damn near in tears when I saw Complex post that video of Pop graduating from high school. I was like, yo, this was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Your whole life changed in 2 years. Like, you really changed music in the short time that you were here. And I think that's why I want to give him the W, because I feel like if there's one thing that I love that Brooklyn does is they really, y'all covet your artists a lot and hold them in high revere, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. And I think Pop is in good hands. Except Troy Ave.
And 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I don't know that nigga.
Let's get into the second W. The dynamic duo. The one where LeBron is not carrying them to the finals.
I mean, he kind of carrying this nigga to like multi-millionaire, pushing billionaire status.
I feel like Mav does his thing on the up and up. But Mav Carter and LeBron get the second W. I think what did they make? Times magazine or something to go on? They had a whole cover story just about how great they are.
And then also too, they got like a big investment of like several hundred million for like media and entertainment projects and stuff like that. Media empire that they're building, which I think is great. At the end of the day, listen, I'm never gonna knock LeBron because you took people out of your neighborhood, people you grew up with, and you gave them jobs and made people respect them because they had to deal with them to get to you. And I'm always gonna respect that. Like you could have got LeBron could have easily, for all the hype and all the press that he got literally since the minute he was in high school, LeBron could have got a good old Jewish agent, some financial people, and moved mountains. But he did that with people that people did not respect, people didn't want to respect, and he made them respect them. Yeah. Because they had to deal with them to get to him. And I respect LeBron for making people respect them, because he was like, if you don't respect my mans, then we can't do no business either. Because you're not going to do my peoples like that.
From what I've heard, that was, I guess I'm spilling tea, but that was one of the reasons why LeBron doesn't have a Tinker shoe. Tinker had complaints saying that LeBron does too many things with his friends, and his friends have too many influencers when designing. And LeBron was like, Nope, I don't care. Me and my friends design shoes. That's how my sneakers get made. I don't know what that fucking bum ass 15 by Ronnie Fagan is an excuse, but whatever. But yeah, I think it speaks sentiments to being loyal. I mean, what other basketball player can say that he had a whole movie made about his high school basketball team and it was
compelling. That, I
had Drake and Kanye.
Coach Carter wasn't that good.
What happened?
I had Drake, Eminem, and Kanye at their height on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Take that, Michael Jordan.
Like Coach Carter ain't competing with that.
Period.
No. And you did that with no ring. Like you didn't even have a ring at the time. That was a real. And then you wrote your mans in them in the movie so they can get credit for the movie and they'll forever be paid. That is the definition of a real friend.
That's fucking loyal.
I think
all Jordan did was complain about Pippen, like your lazy bum ass with your back problems. I got to carry this team to a championship.
Off.
I took that personally. So, yeah.
I think I just shout out to LeBron and Mav, especially LeBron, like for insisting in making that sacrifice. I'm gonna hold down my people. I get your expertise or your experience or the flair of working with you, but it really comes down to these are my men, and I'm one of the best basketball players in the world. Like you can work with me or not, but I'm still going to be one of the best basketball players in the world. Like, and he can do that. So shout out to the influx that he had for now Spring Hill Entertainment that's bringing together all his, like he's consolidating everything, which is smart because he has these deals that he had with like HBO, where he was also dealing with his audio and apparel and all those other features that he was working on, like with at least through Mav and bringing them all together. They're like in their 30s. They're our age.
That man made a whole public school and is able to be in videos, is able to be doing shows and ain't got no charges and no weird rumors against him. Respect that nigga.
And his TikTok
opened a whole public school. I can't like a functioning school where people are graduating and beating the expectations. I ain't got nothing bad to say about him.
No.
He just gotta give up his hairline.
Yeah, just enough already.
Give up the hair. Just give it up. Like enough. Like stop. I get
you have a beard, bro.
You're loyal to your family, you're loyal to Savannah, you're loyal to your niggas, but give up the hair. Like it is the only thing we ask you to give up. You have done enough. Give up the hair. It's not staying.
Yo, bro, he tries every season.
He tries everything to keep it
up. It's like, dude, we see it. We know. Like, sorry, the plugs didn't take.
But give it up. Give it
up.
Bro,
how are the plugs going to take when you dropping 40 every night and skydiving from the fucking draft, from the rafters to the basketball court?
You got a beard. That's a beautiful thing. You got a full, luscious beard that's going to stay beautiful. Give up the hair.
Enough already. Even Jordan gave up the hair eventually.
Period. Like, you just can't.
Yeah, bro, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Number 3. This is crazy, bro, because I really thought he was gonna give me another season. Or at least another 2. I know that's crazy to say, but Vince Carter, man. Vince Carter, bro. Like, what can we say? Like, I saw somebody post a picture of what Vince Carter looked like in NBA Jam to compare it to 2K20, and I was like, wow, the range. He's the crazy thing about Vince Carter, bro, is he aged so much more gracefully than Shaq, jumping from team to team.
You know why?
Remember
You know why? Because Shaq had to get beat the fuck up to get the rings.
True, but Vince Carter had his time.
He had the stuff for Kobe's abuse. Like 3
of them. He did. I mean, I'm kind of upset Vince Carter doesn't have a ring. I do feel bad about that. Like, and the fact that he would have got a ring in Seattle that's Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady would have got a ring if he would stay to Seattle that 1 year. But I think he's well respected. Dunk champion, legend. Like, no one has done
was garbage for years until he came to it.
It has not been the same since.
No. let's be clear.
No, it has not been the same.
Yo, listen, let's be clear. The recent Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine rivalry has been great, but they robbed Aaron Gordon. Those dunk contests have been amazing. Those two.
They have,
let's
but
not lie. Let's not.
I just remember watching Vince Carter, and everybody's like, "Look at little Vince Carter, man. Let's see what he gonna do." And everybody just got silent.
It was just a great time because the dunk contest had got garbage because once Jordan and Dominique and all those other guys had got out the league, yeah, it was trash for a while. But the recent ones have been better. But Vince Carter really revitalized All-Star Weekend because of his dunks. And
we don't talk about the 7-footer that got dunked on. No one knows that man's name.
I think
we just know he got dunked on.
Paul Weiss.
Was he supposed to go to the Knicks?
Yeah, something like that. He's one.
Like you said, yeah, something like that. I think he was supposed to go to the Knicks that year.
I feel bad for all the European players that was about to get American deals and they went to the Olympics and got thrashed by everybody in America, and everybody was like, "Yo, we don't need them no more."
AKA, I took that personal.
Was the only one that was able to skate because like everybody gets their shoes rocked in the Olympics, and then Kukoc was able to get a deal. It's like any other European player that was about to get an American deal, they go to Olympics and get banged on, and they get no American deals after that.
Jordan, I took that personal. I mean, I didn't know him, but
I feel sorry. I feel like that man could have got an American contract, and he got banged on by Vince Carter, and nobody ever talked about him again.
Literally,
I hate to see it.
He went back to his country and was like, "I hate you."
Yeah,
just spin it on him. But yeah, shout out to Vince Carter. You got anything to say, Mr. Goodman, about Vince Carter?
I want the Raptors to just give him an honorary ring.
What's up? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. He could have been talking the whole time.
No, I probably haven't. You probably haven't heard. But I just like Vince. Vince was one of the reasons.
You went out again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
There we go.
Now we can hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Vince was one of the reasons why I was a fan of the Nets. You know, J. Kidd, Richard Jefferson,
Kenyon Martin,
Vince Carter, like
Vince Carter's evil twin.
Like it's there's entire generations of people who just like admire him for whatever reason, and that was mine. Like, yo,
I still want an old school Raptors jersey. I still want one.
That's all I got. That's really it's weird to watch an NBA game that Vince Carter is like, to watch an NBA league that doesn't have Vince Carter in it. That's 2/3 of my life right there. That's more than 2/3 of my life.
This is true. Yo, let's get into new music. So the City Girls, they put out an album. I heard it. I enjoyed it. It's really good. They told me that broke niggas don't deserve pussy. I was like, I guess. No, I thought I froze. He said broke niggas don't deserve pussy. I was like, well, you got something before you came out with this album. Appreciate you. Shout out to y'all. It's a good album. Yo, City Girls, man, they deliver.
I was pretty surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I can't say that I am a biggest fan of them. Like, they have the fact that period has become like just a thing everybody just says now, like period. Like, I think it's funny, but I was never really a big fan of them. But like, their album was pretty good. They had pretty good beats. Like, the stuff was catchy. I mean, hey, listen, if Future can exist, then they are the mascots of toxic femininity. Like setting up niggas. Like, my lesbian ass was like, do I need to set up niggas more? Am I not doing my thing as a woman in this time? In this age of toxic femininity? Am I not setting up? If I'm not lining up niggas enough? Like, and I
a hood nigga taken to the block. I was like, wait, what?
I was like, damn, I feel bad for straight dudes. This is hard. I was like, damn, how do y'all get past this? Women are capping for this. I was like, damn.
I think you just gotta let it ride out. Like, you really can't say nothing in between, because if you say something like, you want pussy, yeah, okay, all right, you got it. Do your thing.
The only weird thing about them out there, I'm coming out, was the revelation that JT and Lil Uzi used to date. That was like the weirdest bit of tea that came out of their album release. I was like, what? I was like, this is weird.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Black put out an EP that was fire.
Who?
Black.
Oh, the 6-piece, right?
Really good. Yeah, really, really good. Josh, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Did you hear me now?
Yes.
We can.
Okay, my bad. That I can really talk about. I think that, you know, it's just good. It's slack music. Like, you know, it's not too experimental, but, you know, he can spit. He knows how to croon over some beats. I really enjoyed it. And he kind of made me a fan of Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of Lil Baby. I just don't go out of my way to listen to any of his music. But that
I love Lil Baby.
No, that Know My Rights, that shit is hard. And that ATL freestyle.
That's a fact. Also very good. What else came out? Buju Banton. Bum 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 bum. He put out an album. People really liked it. He has a track on there with Pharrell that's pretty dope. Shout out to Buju Banton. This last name I can't pronounce, but I heard it and I put it on my playlist. So
Mordecai? You don't know how to say
Mordecai? That shit fire. That shit slap. That whole album is really, really good.
Name, Mordecai?
That's an old country name too.
I fell asleep through Sunday school. Don't judge me. Anyway, really, really, really good album. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Very, very good songs. I put some of them actually on the playlist. On my playlist this week. We didn't talk about
Teyana Taylor's album.
Yes, we did not talk about that because we said we were going to talk about it last time.
Bro.
What's your review on it?
I think that she needs to get the fuck off of good music because they ain't appreciating her. Like, come on, that album was fire. You did not like it? No, you're
too long.
Okay, this is my
all over the place.
My two critiques about it. It was too long because by the time I got to track 14, 15, I was like, I am tired. You may be getting too much of the hammer. There is no reason for 22 songs of this. I just thought it was all the same. Teyana is somebody we like because she looks good and we like her energy. And I felt like if you're going to give me 20-something songs, 10 are fine. 10 are Demon Time songs and 10, give me some more up-tempo songs. Like, it's just too much I'm taking the hammer songs. Like, enough. And I like R&B. Like, I like R&B, but it was just too much.
I like it. I like their album because I enjoy Tory Lanez music. And this is like a female version of Tory Lanez music. Like, I like how she does her flips of some classic joints. She can actually sing. I think my least favorite song is probably going to be, I'm going to be real, it's probably going to be that Big Sean song. I don't think I want to hear this nigga's voice anymore. But I can understand, like, yeah, I definitely checked out after Friends. And that's probably because I was just I had heard that the song with King Combs for like the last 2 months. I was tired. But I'm very happy for her to be able to release this album. Like, for it to be as long as it is, I enjoyed a lot more of this album than I have from others that are shorter. Like, so I appreciate it. And I'm just happy that she was able to finally fucking express herself. Like, and get out the album that she wanted.
All right. Well, I guess we can get into new media. I think this goes without question that Kobe was going to be 2K21's cover.
Period.
Undisputed. We don't even need to get into that.
They have technically 3 covers. The first cover is the regular version of the game. It is Dame Lillard. The second, I think, deluxe one is Zion Williamson, and then the Mamba edition that comes with other stuff. I think you get an early edition of, on pre-order, you get an early edition of 2K. The 2K that's going to be for the PlayStation 5. You get a small version of it for when you buy the 2K21, and then you get a bunch of like Kobe, like for your My Player, you get a Kobe jersey, Kobe sneakers, you get like $20,000 in VC, all these other things if you buy the Mamba edition, which is $100 if you buy the Mamba one on pre-order. I think the other ones are like priced somewhere close, like in the $50-$49 range, but the Mamba edition on pre-order right now is $100, and it comes with all the other digital stuff you get with it. So
I think it's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. We got some media. Mr. Goodman.
We don't have to talk about him. Right? I can wait until y'all see it.
All right, we wait until we see it.
Okay.
All right, reporting live from Chicago. Jade, how good or bad is this Kanye Gap deal?
This Kanye Gap deal is kind of unprecedented. Originally, Kanye announced last week that he has a 10-year partnership with Gap that is going to be mostly basics and other things that he's going to come out with. And the team is going to be head by Mwala. She's a Nigerian designer that has done stuff with Drake and a lot of other artists. She's now probably more pushed to prominence because of this Gap deal being announced. I've never heard a partnership this long. So I thought that was crazy.
It's good money.
Yeah, it's good money. And then also too, like for Kanye, for being a former Gap employee, and then for like years later, you to actually have a whole collaboration. So it's going to start on the first half of 2021. He's going to be, they'll be paying royalties and equity to Yeezy, depending on sales performance. The deal can get re-revised after 5 years, depending on the popularity of it and, how far-reaching it is. And, it's going to be over in the Gap stores and over their digital outlets too, that he's going to be doing it. They're hoping that Yeezy is going to boost them $1 billion in sales. I'm wary of that projection. I think it's very high projection. I think my whole thing was Yeezy is a big brand. It's a brand that makes a lot of money, but it's a brand that is 98% of its sales is footwear. I have never, even when the Gap was popular in the 90s for like just regular gear, I have never bought Gap sneakers, period. So I don't know if Adidas is somehow getting pulled now into this Gap thing, if they're going to offer footwear, because I don't know anybody that has a lot of Yeezy clothing. I know every goddamn body that has Yeezy sneakers or slides. So
I know people that's bought apparel pieces from the Yeezy collections over periods of time.
But
only because it's gone on sale or it's been for dirt cheap to get, because the first initial pieces are always like astronomical prices. So if I see anybody and stuff, it's like season 4, season 3, season 2.
Yeah, it's Yeezy is just not a clothing line that people are constantly supporting. Like Rob said, if anybody who I know bought it, either had it because they either got it directly from them or it was on sale on Essence or something like that. So I'm just curious to see what's going to happen with it. We don't know. I'm curious to see what's going to be offered. He's talked about, I want to offer basics and hoodies with no pockets, and hoodies with no pockets is annoying. So he scratched that. I'm not giving him any of my money. I'm just curious to see what it is. I can't really give too much on it. We don't see it. We'll have one preview image. So.
I think the Kanye West brand, there's a lot of people who don't fuck with him or his music, but there's just a lot more people who don't give a fuck. And like anything associated with Kanye, including his sneakers. So I think, the numbers won't lie, but I think that there are a lot of people who can't afford or don't have access to, his current pieces. And I think that working with Gap, and if they let him do pretty much whatever he would like to do, I think, this is him getting onto every suburban kid's or even rural kid's back forever.
But this is what you wanted, right?
I think that, he's going to ascend, to like that Rihanna status where you might not listen to her music ever, but hey, you're wearing her lipstick or you're wearing her underwear. He's just going to be everywhere.
Women, by the way.
I mean, I just don't know. Gap is such a staple brand of suburbia, suburban women, suburban families. I don't know if the American public in all regions is going to be into Kanye pushing that brand forward, because I think a lot of people, you know, like I as much as we live in a fashion centered city, and we have ideals of New York fashion, so we're a little more progressive in even our basics.
Yeah.
That's why I think that there's a lot of people that are going to be like, I'm fucking with this.
But a lot of these gaps that still exist, because a lot of our gaps are closed in the tri-state. A lot of gaps where they are still big retailers are in smaller cities that may not be into the city ideals or the more urbane ideals of dressing, or even basic or forward dressing that Kanye may present, especially if you're familiar with Mwala, which she even gives in her regular line. So I'm curious to see how. I know it's going to be taken well in cities like Atlanta, New York, LA, in cities where young people have more progressive. I'm curious to see how the brand will take in smaller states and smaller cities that do not have those urbane leanings or want those kind of clothes yet even.
I think that those kids that love, like, that on that, that Lil Pump circuit of like those type of kids, in like a Phoenix, Arizona, or
they love Kanye.
Yeah, or like I'm not gonna try to hate on St. Louis. I respect y'all as a city, but y'all are much smaller than us, and I think that they're gonna love this.
Yeah, well, I mean, shout out to my people in St. Louis. Shout out to DNA. I think for them, they're looking for that. They're looking for a more progressive style where it can be affordable and change things. I wanted Jay to touch on
I was about to
this Telfar deal though. That I think that's the most dark side of dark part of the other side of the coin.
Because of the Kanye deal, kind of, I guess. Well, the thing is that a lot of people didn't know that Telfar, before it was announced in the end of 2019, Telfar had a whole pop-up in Paris with the Gap. Stuff was offered that was to a select few people. So if you were in Paris and you worked in fashion, you knew that there was a thing before. And Telfar did a few pieces before in another Gap capsule before, in one of their like GQ collections, I think. But in the negotiations of clearing the Kanye deal, Telfar's was kind of pushed to the side. He didn't get a fee for them canceling the endorsement. They barely even communicated with him once, I guess, Kanye thing was on the table, and his thing was nixed. I think now that the Gap kind of saw all the blowback that people were pissed at, Telfar's collaboration got clipped in exchange for Kanye's. I think Gap has put out a statement to saying that they're going to release it later, and I think they're trying to fix the relationship in the negotiations with Telfar, because at the end of the day, right now, the only thing that I hear young Black people talking about and Black women talking about is fucking Telfar and Telfar bags. And at the end of the day, Telfar is selling out. Telfar did 3 restocks last week on his bags, and his bags price point is from $150 to the highest $275, and he offers about the 12 to 20 bags in colorways, and they sell out in 3 weeks, every restock. So to me, I'm like, Gap, you're stupid because you're missing the moment. You may get Kanye, but you're missing the guy who's going to become the next probably HBA. So I hope they fix it. I think a lot of people, Telfar has a cult following right now. I would really like to see the Telfar one because he's a younger designer and a newer designer, and I hope they fix it and they come out with something. But if it doesn't, I feel like because he kind of missed out this moment, I think karma works in a way where you wind up getting something bigger. So even if they don't fix it, I think karma is going to work its way, and Telfar is going to get a way bigger collaboration with a way bigger retailer and maybe able to do even more fabulous things. So I hope they fix it. If not, I think Telfar's still winning. So he's selling out bags either way. I want a Telfar bag. I ain't got one yet, so I've been trying. So,
Mr. Goodman. Oh wait, Pierre Marche new shoe comes out tomorrow. Friday rather. So
and in association, and it's in association with the Independence Project. So I thought that was a great, charity to get involved with, as well. So, Telfar.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. That was pretty important.
There's no Nike releases or anything else. I mean, Supreme is going to Supreme, Nike going to Nike. We know what it is, but those are the big things in Black designers that are really happening right now.
Yeah, Mr. Goodman, what's going on Deadass Weekly?
So, New York City has. Some people say that they've gone too far. Some people say they haven't gone far enough, but they have slashed $1 billion.
American?
The projected budget for the NYPD. This comes on the back of the fact that $9 billion will be missing from our budget because of the coronavirus, but they are going to be the NYPD will be transferring control of the city's school safety program to the Department of Education. They will remove crossing guards and pull out of homeless outreach services, since they were pretty much just moving homeless people from one dangerous area to another dangerous area. A lot of people were saying that it wasn't enough. The fucking governor of New York that people have been loving, celebrating for like the last 4 months, is like, he doesn't get it and doesn't understand. And the fact is that the fucking NYPD ain't need that much money in the first place. If there's supposed to be budget cuts and the city is going to be cutting education, then you shouldn't have been rolling out a new fucking graduation class in the first place. It's definitely there's been a lot of shootings, a lot more. And in the same way that people have been fucking wilding because they have been trapped in their homes and they're not able to get their haircuts and go to the movies, then niggas is out here wilding.
Just want to point out that I got a haircut.
It's unfortunate.
Because you mentioned it, Josh. I just want to point out I got a haircut.
Hope you socially distant.
You can't see your waves. Zoom doesn't have that HD quality yet.
Appreciate it. Continue, Mr. Goodman.
I am good. I'm absolutely good. I am definitely adhering to social distancing, and I do leave my apartment. I'm wearing a mask because I give a fuck. And I think that when it comes to the NYPD, they're not helping the community. This entire law enforcement is just about policing, and it's not. They're not helping. There's a reason why there is a need for them, and you're not addressing all those issues. And maybe this is just a first step, but it was just interesting to hear Andrew Cuomo show his true colors. He's a law and order fucking governor, and he's a bit of an asshole. But he is working with the governors of I know Jersey. Was it Connecticut? I don't think it was Connecticut. It must have been Pennsylvania. Or maybe it was Connecticut. The tri-state area. So it was definitely.
All the mayors, and they added in Pennsylvania.
But they are telling anybody from all you infected states that were making fun of New York just a month ago, maybe 5 weeks now. When was Memorial Day? May 25th, when we saw niggas wilding, and now the virus is wilding.
Shout out to me, because I currently reside in the safest state in the nation right now, New Jersey.
What are you going from the mountaintop? Continue, because I don't want to hear this foolishness. It is tough over here. Mr. Goodman, you said 22 states are losing to COVID.
Yeah. So a lot of people were saying, oh, well, we actually know that these are just new cases. It's not hospitalizations. But that's just because y'all are testing more, and so you know who's infected. But thousands of people were infected in New York City. Thousands of people were hospitalized. Thousands of people died. You had your chance. You had your fucking chance to shut down. And now people are dying, and you're shut down.
Very much.
It's so interesting to see people continue to politicize what a fucking virus does. But yeah, I mean, it's affecting us in that, moving on to Live from the Mountaintop, the European Union is like, nah,
Say your black ass home.
I'm like,
I'm not surprised by anything.
No more trips to Santorini.
I'm feeling like I can get political asylum. I feel like as a black
man,
man,
to go to London or Paris because the flights were starting to look good before this corona hit, and that's the dub.
Well, you could. I think Greece is not honoring. It's like not issuing the ban, right? Yeah. So you could like some of those countries have like you don't have to show your passport to cross the border. Yeah. I'd prefer not to cause like an international crisis because I'm trying to go on vacation. It just fucking sucks that
at this time seems really irresponsible. Like I get if you were trying to visit family, but going on a literal vacation in a foreign country seems extremely irresponsible right now.
I feel like being in any other country except for this one, you probably have a better chance of not getting the fucking virus. Because 40,000 people. There's tens of thousands of new cases every day. Like, this is what we were dealing with 2 months ago.
Let's get to the adulting topic. I thought about this as we were sitting here, and I think it's very good to close out in. If the budget cuts continue and the police are feeling like their job is not necessarily respected, do you think the cities or the neighborhoods are going to take their cities and hold people accountable to keep them safe?
What do you mean, like the neighborhoods police themselves?
Yeah.
I think they should, but I think any time any kind of authoritative groups have started in neighborhoods, I think it's harder to unite people under one cause. I feel like even if the neighborhoods wanted to police themselves, I feel like sometimes the neighborhoods wouldn't want the person who is starting it to be the face of it. They feel like they could do better. I feel like nobody can get on one same page when it comes to any kind of necessarily rule of law or rules of the neighborhood.
Goodman?
So I feel like if it's not the police, even if it's a local, I just feel like even if most people get in touch with it, there's going to be literally a polar opposite group that is not fucking with that, and that could create problems.
Goodman?
So I just think that, yes, we don't want the police. I think the police need to stay out the neighborhoods, but, you know, there's been a rise in shootings.
I think that it's already happening. I think that it's already happening because the police are useless. Like, how many crimes are actually prevented? How many crimes are solved? How many violent crimes that occur in this city, in these neighborhoods, are actually solved? They're not keeping the peace. People don't call 911 for the police. They call 911 because something's already happened. They need an ambulance. And because it's a violent crime, the police show up. People call 911 essentially because insurance needs a police report. Somebody broke into my house. I call the police.
I got in a car accident
because they're going to get my shit. I'm calling the police because I need this shit documented. So when I go to my insurance, I can get reimbursed for my losses. I don't call the police when my car has been hit. I call the police and I need somebody to like fucking punish somebody or catch somebody for this. I'm calling the fucking police so they can mark down what the fuck happened, and insurance takes care of it. Like, you know how you hear those stories of like policemen delivering babies or policemen being right there and they were able to stop the suspect, or
that's not the narrative now.
That shit, those are stories that you hear because that's not every day. It's every day is that they're normal human beings, normal Americans that have to police themselves, that have to keep themselves safe, or are stuck in situations where they have to survive. So I think that when you're talking about the police and there's like this class of 200 or some shit like that are gonna be on the streets. Like what does it fucking mean? I guess we need are you occupying us? Like what the fuck are they for? How about you put some more teachers? How about you invest in the infrastructure, invest in housing?
We're about to start talking. I think
summer programs.
Goodman. I think what we need to start calling it is Batman politics. instead of beating up people
Yeah.
and choking people, reinvest in
What
Gotham.
the
I want to close it right there.
My
But,
nigga, you hit
yeah.
that nail right there. It's 80 years of this nigga beating on people. He's a billionaire, and Gotham is still a cesspool. He's one of the most wealthy niggas in this fucking in the DC universe. This nigga can beat anybody just because he has enough money. He has enough money.
It's definitely the NYPD because they are the largest. They're almost as large as some states, some countries' military. We have the NYPD, the largest police system and the wealthiest police unit in the country and in most other continents.
So
they gave them too much. They
episode 104 titled "Boys and Bruce" because that's pretty much what it is.
No, I think Batman Politics is a good one.
Batman Politics,
I like. Yeah,
they definitely feel like, oh, we're saving a neighborhood. Like, no, like y'all not saving anything. You're just
where is he? What is
he? Y'all have these Bane Call of Duty fantasies. Get it out your head. Y'all ain't doing shit but beating people up and shooting them.
Yo, last thoughts, Mr. Goodman.
Can I go last?
You leave with the last thought. It's your last thought. I got no thoughts.
Okay, my bad. Do what you love, and don't feel guilty for it.
Okay, I'll take that. I heard Jay say that to an OnlyFans patron. Yo, this is public service announcement.
My Herschel is played, and I called this shit a long time ago.
Wait. Yeah, never mind.
Yo, it's public service announcement. Never a safe space. We only do it for the culture. We never do it for the fucking industry. We are out. This has been a public service announcement with Robbie Digital, Bones, and Saul Goodman. If you enjoyed the podcast and would like to check out past and future episodes, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes at Public Service Announcement, and subscribe on SoundCloud at PSA NYC Squad. You can also check out additional content on Twitter and Instagram at PSA NYC Squad. It's lit.